And now we can finish up with the tips. Got 5 out of 8 last week. I missed the Blues. I missed the Dockers at the end of the week, and there was one in the middle, the Cats against the Saints. I missed as well. So yeah, not terrible ones to miss. I always tip Carlton. On the video, I actually got 6 out of 8 because I tipped Hawthorn. But yeah, let's get on with this week. Round three, starting with Essendon and Port Adelaide. I'm tipping Port. I'm definitely tipping Port. I think Essendon just didn't show enough defensively last week for me to have any faith in them knocking off this Port Adelaide side. Do I think that they've shown signs attacking wise? Yes, they're going to be a lot harder for Port to defend than Richmond. That's for sure. And Essendon also have the ability to pull out a good performance and shock a team. We know this. So I wouldn't be surprised if they played well here and it was closer. But I just think based on what I saw last week, I have to back Port in here pretty comfortably. So I'm going to go Port by 30 points. Carlton Bulldogs. This is an interesting one. I think we should be responding here. We really should be. If we go on three here and going into a game against Collingwood next Thursday night, there are issues. There are real issues. We've got to respond here, and I have no doubt that we'll do it. We just have to. We have to. Am I wrong for backing my side in here in a game where, based on what we've seen, is pretty 50-50 this season? Prior to the year, I would have thought this was a given. But obviously, based on what we've seen and the deficiencies that Carlton have in their game plan, I think it's a lot closer now. But I think we'll do it. I think we'll do it at Marvel as well. First game at Marvel for the year. I think we're going to show up. We have to. It's not going to be a blowout. We'll have our cardiac Carlton moments, but I think we're going to get the win. So 12 points there for the Blues. Melbourne Gold Coast. I was not impressed by what Melbourne dished off in that fourth quarter, as I said before, against the Roos. I think Gold Coast coming off that big win are going to be in it to do some damage here. Coming to the MCG as well, when what has been said about their away form in the past is that it's not up to scratch. This is the year where they have to get it right, as we've said, and I think they're going to get it more than right. And I think they're going to win this pretty well. Does it crack 50 points? Just on the edge. I'm going to go 8 goals. St Kilda Richmond. Poor. The Saints, after what they did to the Cats, should be getting the win pretty comfortably here. It's also the Saints. So do they let Richmond make a game out of this? I wouldn't be shocked. But at Docklands, which the Tigers don't play very well, um, and the Tigers coming off the loss that they've come off, I don't think they are much of a chance here against the Saints at all. I'm going to go St Kilda by 44 points. Brisbane Geelong at the Gabba. This was meant to happen in opening round. It's now happening in round three, and I'm glad because it means more footy this weekend. It also means that it's happening at the same time as Hawthorn GWS, which is actually not very good because I would like to watch both games, but I won't be able to. Um, at least not entirely anyway. But that being said, Brisbane Geelong. Geelong had that loss last week against the Saints, as we just talked about. Brisbane got their win against the Eagles. I was really impressed with how Brisbane were able to grind that win out. And I think at the Gabba, I think they'll have enough under lights to match up to this Cats team. Will they still be without Bailey Smith? I'm not sure. And I think he is a very important player. He might be back. But I just think even still, this Brisbane team should have enough. Um, you even look back to the finals game they played last year. I just think this Brisbane team has what it takes to get the better of this Cats team, like on paper. And I think they'll do it. So I'll say Brisbane by 12 points. Hawthorn GWS at the same time as the Brisbane Geelong game, as I said, is a cracker, an absolute cracker. Hawthorn playing the way that they are playing, just so impressive to watch. And they're going to be a force, and we know that. GWS also very likely a contender. Um, Coming off a bye, which is an interesting element. Does it affect them? Does it benefit them coming in fresh off a 2 week break? It's in Tassie as well. This is such a coin flip, such a 50-50 coin flip. Oh no, 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 no. This is not good. I'm tipping the Giants. I'm tipping the Giants by 3 points. Have I made a mistake there? Potentially the two best teams in the competition. Tell me what you think. Adelaide versus North Melbourne. Um, yeah, North were fantastic last week, as I said before. I think the way they picked apart Melbourne at the end of that game was very impressive and very indicative of the progress that they've made. But do I think that they're going to do that on a consistent basis? It really is too early to tell. Um, but I think Adelaide are much improved and they're going to do what we saw from them against the Bombers much more consistently. And I think at home, I'm edging them over North just about. But I don't think it'll be a blowout by any means. Yeah, I'm going to go the Crows by 3 goals. And we finish around with a Western Derby, West Coast versus Freo. And like I said at the end of my review of Sydney versus Freo, they've just got to bounce back. The Dockers, they can't lose this game. If you lose this game at this point, when you're expected to do so much more this season against your biggest rival, you go 0-3. It's not good, and I don't think it'll end well for them if that happens. I actually think they're going to win this by a decent margin. I'm going to go the Dockers by 50 points because I think they have a statement to make. And that game to start off round four is going to be very, very interesting depending on what happens with us next week. But for now, we're going to leave it there. Wow, interesting weekend ahead.